Congratulations, you made it to the Profit Genie calculator where we ask you the question everybody wants to know. How much do you want in your account at the end of the year after all your expenses have been paid? Now, for a lot of you, this is a different way of thinking and we get it, but this concept is how you get your life back because it smooths out your profit and you no longer have to guess your estimated markups and hope you make money. All you have to do with the Profit Genie is set your financial goal, which we are doing here in this video, and make sure your projects are coming in on budget with materials and time. If they aren't, which you will know right away, make the necessary adjustments to get them on budget. Now, let's move on with how to use the Profit Genie calculator. Click on this box here to type the amount you would like to have at the end of the year, or you can use our little slider to get that amount. And before we move on, let's clarify exactly what this amount represents. We already added the owner's pay either in the field employees section if you're an owner operator and or the overhead expenses section. That's going to ensure that the owner is getting paid monthly for the job they are doing in their business. The amount you type here is over and above their salary, and it's what you should have left over in your account after all your expenses have been paid, including making it through your downtime if you're in a seasonal area. Now, this obviously assumes that you are using our software from the start of the season. If you signed up in October and have to shut down in December, you only have a small portion of this money in your account. We also need to note that this only works if you stay on budget with your project timelines, costs, and labor, and your overall budgets. Anytime you go over any of these, it will come directly out of your Profit Genie goal. The cool thing about the Profit Genie is that it doesn't just tell you how much money you'll have at the end of the year, it tells you exactly what to charge in the form of your PMM to reach that goal. PMM stands for production minus the cost of materials. Unlike all other software and the industry standard, we do not ask you to estimate what your materials are going to be for the year and then come up with a markup of those materials, your labor and equipment, and hope you make your profits for the year. Instead, our PMM number tells you what to charge per employee, per hour, per day to cover all of your overhead and labor expenses and reach your Profit Genie goal. Have you ever had a client want to purchase some of the materials for their project and you freaked out because you knew you needed to mark up those materials to reach your profits at the end of the year? You never have to worry about that again because your PMM number will tell you how much to charge per hour regardless of whether you pay for materials or your client does. Your materials no longer have an effect on how much you profit at the end of the year. From this day forward, your PMM number is literally the heartbeat of your business. Now, let's define what each number means. The average daily unbilled labor per employee is a big number and could be one of the main things that's sucking the profits out of your business each year. Earlier in the software, we asked how many hours you work per day. The software will tell you how much to charge per hour based off that information and assumes that every hour of that day is spent in production time on a job. Unbilled labor are the hours you pay your employees when they're not on a project, like driving to and from the project or running to the hardware store or supply house to get materials. Now, each individual business is different, so your job is to figure out how many hours a day each employee is on the clock but off the project. The software will then calculate how much you need to be charging per production hour to reach your goal. You will then need to manage your business to make sure that your unbillable hours never exceed what you put in this space. Otherwise, it will dip into your profits and often in a huge way. The field employees number right here auto-populates to match how many field employees you indicated you have in your company in the labor section. Your daily PMM represents how much money you need to produce each day in your company, not including materials, to meet your Profit Genie goal at the end of the year. Keep in mind, this is for your whole company. So in this situation, we have 6 employees. This number represents the total production for all 6 employees for the day. It's also important to note here that your PMM only indicates your production and not your total sales. Your total sales include your production and your materials Here in the Profit Genie, we're only concentrating on what you need to produce. The next number is your monthly PMM, which represents how much you need to produce each month, not including materials, in order to meet your Profit Genie goal at the end of the year. This number isn't super important to focus on. It's just a fun number to know. Your field labor is the total amount you are estimated to spend based off the planned hours and overtime you indicated you work earlier in the software. Again, not a super important number to pay attention to, but it's a fun number to know. Your annual overhead represents the sum of all your overhead expenses that you entered for the year. The next numbers are definitely the most important, and you should know them like you know the back of your hand. The first one is your hourly PMM, per field employee. This is the amount you need to charge per hour, not including materials, for each field employee to reach your Profit Genie goal at the end of the year. The second number is your daily PMM per field employee. This is what you need to produce daily per field employee, not including materials. This is the space for 2 field employees and is your daily PMM for a 2-man crew. This is my favorite number because I run 2-man crews in my landscape design and construction company, and this is the number I use for all of my bidding. If you run a 3-man crew, this is your daily PMM. If you run a 4-man crew, here is your daily PMM. And finally, if you run a 5-man crew, here's your daily PMM. This number will automatically be entered into every new proposal based on the crew size you indicate you're using on that proposal. That covers all of the fields in this calculator, which means you have completed the Profit Genie. Watch the next video to take a deeper dive and learn how to use it to grow your business and profits.